Alright guys, it's Bruce with Mr. Silencer. This morning we're going to do a Remington 870 tactical build. This is the 870 Marine Magnum, MP3 plated, super cool gun. I've already got it stripped and removed the rear stock and the trigger group, but I wanted to tell you about a couple different things. This gun from the factory is a Remington 870. This little piece of thing right here, this is the thing that holds it on the weapon back down inside here. However, you've got to get this thing off. Two little sheet metal screws jammed in there, and if you look closely, it's just a silly little rubber thing. You have to jam a screwdriver in there. It took me like 15 minutes to get this piece off the back of the gun. So you didn't have to hear any of my miscellaneous ramblings and complaints while I did that. But we're going to be installing the Mesa Tactical LE version with the pistol grip and the recoil buffer thing in it, as well as a full-length Picatinny top rail with a 6-round side saddle and the EOTech up top with a sling. So fully decked out Mesa Tactical goodness. You know, these guns are $789 by themselves, and then we're going to add, you know, $300 and $250 and an EOTech. So we're loading this guy up. It's going to be an awesome freaking build. So the first thing I wanted to do is put the tactical rail on, and in order to do that we had to pull out the two pins that hold the trigger group in. We're going to set these aside because these will not be used for the build, because we're using a threaded cross pin for one of them, and then I forgot what these are called. This goes together and holds the other one in. It is what it is. It's what holds the stock or the trigger group in. Alright, so in order to install this, the factory pins have little detents in them, just like an AR trigger hammer pin, where these little spring clips catch it to hold it in so it doesn't walk its way out of the receiver. Well, we don't need those with this guy. It's not necessary that these are installed on there, so we're going to set those aside with the pins for a future date that may never come. Who's going to want to change it back after this, right? So there's those two guys right there. Now we're ready to go and install this back into the action. Now that that's back in, we can, no, I don't want to do that. Gotta put the front block on here. So we're ready now to assemble the weapon. Now we've removed those two little spring clips and the factory cross pins. So I've got this guy right here going on the fore end. And these are the blocks that hold the front rail of the tactical rail to the barrels and the feed magazine. Now that that's done, we can take and drop the whole assembly onto the receiver back at the back. Put this guy back a little bit, find him a happy place. Now they sit pretty flush. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. But they could be flush fur. But I mean, they did a really good job. There's a little cutaway on the bottom of this thing so you can access the screws that hold the little locking block on there. Alright, we're going to put the cross bolts in now and get this guy rocking and rolling. In a perfect world, this would just drop right in. But today's world means I'm resting on this thing. There we go. Normally I'd use my custom tools in my toolbox, but I wanted to use the pieces that came with it. I mean, they came with all the Allen wrenches that you need to do this. Screwdriver tip, but anyway, that one's snug. And we've got two of these guys that go in this other cross pin. Go ahead and get that one started. Started. Comes with two Allen wrenches because you could spin the pin on the inside to do this, so we're going to put it on both sides. And then we'll come on tensioning mode. Or we can actually get a little bit of torque and get that guy done. These ones are made specifically to interface in the middle, so when you screw these two down, the two pieces meet and lock up so they don't pinch the receiver. And then this is on the same principle, it's just a bigger pin so they can thread it. They meet in the middle, or on the cross pin that's threaded.
Okay.
Alright, we're now going to install the Mesa Tactical Leo collapsible stock with recoil system. Instead of doing threads down inside here, they're using a little nut that drops in. Then we come in from the bottom side with our grip screw, about 2 miles in. And then we can start that. And it's captured inside there, which means that it doesn't rotate. So you can see the guy pop up the top of there. Give that a nice little snugging with the Phillips. And now that's ready. Next up is the little adapter plate that goes on here. Why is it there? I don't know. And that goes on the back. And our normal looking grip screw goes in the back right here to hold this guy in. That guy's on. You can still access all of our stuff. We're ready to go ahead and install the stock. So let's pause. Come back up here and we'll snug this guy down. Snug. 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 We're threading into aluminum. Doesn't need to be super tight. And then the cross bolts that hold this whole thing in place can now be tightened down. Same thing, it's aluminum. The last thing we want to do is rip some aluminum out of here. Okay, so that is the Mesa Tactical full-length tactical rail. Obviously it's meant for the whatever, you can put a front sight here and a rear sight here. This gun came without sights on it. It does have a bead front on the front, but we're not going to use that because we're going to throw an EOTech up top. Alright, we're now going to install the Mesa Tactical Leo collapsible stock with recoil system. Instead of doing threads down inside here, they're using a little nut that drops in. Then we come in from the bottom side with our grip screw, about 2 miles in. Start that. And it's captured inside there, which means that it doesn't rotate. So you can see the guy pop up the top of there. Give that a nice little snugging with the Phillips. And now that's ready. Next up is the little adapter plate that goes on here. Why is it there? I don't know. And that goes on the back. And our normal looking grip screw goes in the back right here to hold this guy in. Okay, so now that guy's on. You can still access all of our stuff. We're ready to go ahead and install the stock. Alright, now we're going to install the recoil / buffer tube assembly. We're not going to call it a buffer, but it's got this little claw guy right here that, like a a regular gun when we thread this guy in. Goes in a few turns like so. And when we don't think we can get another revolution, we're going to slide that one forward. And this is your anti-rotation tab up here on top now. It does come with a handy dandy little castle nut tool, which is nice. I'm sure it's the same as a regular AR, but I can't fit my mag pull one on here and crank on that. Okay, so that's in. And now we have this recoil reducing, when you shoot this shotgun, it takes up some of the boom that's in your shoulder. It's a much softer shooting weapon. So now we've got that done. Let's do the bead and throw the EOTech on here. Softly set that in. So this isn't going to be a whole lot of work because it's a throw lever, an op mod. Push this little guy right here. And swing the lever out. And then we got to decide, we got to decide where to put it right here. So why don't I pick this guy up for a second. It looks like it's not going to matter a whole lot where that guy goes. So let's move it forward to here so that the shot shell carriers on the side can all be accessed without an issue. There we go. Push it forward, lock it on, and then we'll come over to the screwdriver side. Let's reach into our bag of tricks and find a nice wide blade that'll fit in there. Throw this little guy in. It's got some little detents that goes along with it. So now we've got the EOTech on the gun. We placed it far enough forward where we can access all of the shell carriers. And we've got ourselves a tactical shotgun. We're going to plop the sling right there. And then there's a second point up here for a 2-point sling. And with this particular build, we're going to be using the mag pull. MS4 Dual QD Gen 2. The stock came with a mag pull or a QD socket anyway. We can stick this one here, and then we can stick this one up here, and we have both for a 2-point, and then we can go and switch to single point just by clipping in right here for that mode. Two eyes open.